All right, the hurricane forming named Milton has pushed the Sarah Boone case. The judge just announcing it a few moments ago that jury selection process, which was going to be starting this morning, has been pushed until next week. Let's watch the judge.
Thank you so much for letting me know your positions. As we just discussed, as of 10:46 this morning, the chief judge has decided to close all courthouses due to Hurricane Milton, both Wednesday, October 9th and Thursday, October 10. The court anticipates that operations will return to normal on Friday, October 11th, but that's due to the court's continued close monitoring of the impacts of the storm. Due to the potential storm and the ramifications of it, the court is going to postpone jury selection in this matter till Monday, October 14th at 9 a.m. Mr. Owens, please provide the court the order with regard to the clothing and shoes, and we'll address that as necessary. As also requested, please provide my judicial assistant your cellular telephone numbers before you leave today. With that, the court is in recess, and we will see you all on Monday, October 14th. Thank you. Ms. Boone will be returned to the custody of the Orange County Jail pending jury selection. We're off the record. Thank you.
All right, there it is. Sarah Boone was supposed to sit and watch jury selection take place today. Now, earlier this morning, she had a chance to take a deal. The state announced in open court that they were ready to give her a deal of 15 years if she pled guilty for the lesser charge of manslaughter. Right now, she's facing a second-degree murder conviction, which has a minimum of 22 years. Here is that moment where Sarah says no.
Do you understand that if we were to proceed to trial in this matter, and if you were found guilty, the lowest permissible sentence that the court could levy in this case would be 22.5 years in the Department of Corrections? Do you understand that? Do you understand the state's offer to resolve this case? Yes. Okay. The offer is
15 years to a lesser included charge of manslaughter, with the understanding that she would serve 85% of that sentence.
That's up to the department and her behavior, but that is my understanding of the section.
Ma'am, understanding the state's offer, do you wish to accept or reject the state's offer to resolve this case?
Reject.
Oh, man, she rejected that offer. That's 8. You heard that it was 15, but she would serve 8. And she's already done, I believe, 4 in jail, go ripping through these 9 attorneys. She's 4 years away from getting out if she accepted that deal, and she said no. Oh, Deputy Public Defender in Los Angeles County, Philip Dubay, is here. He's been sitting next to clients for decades, listening to their offers and rejections and this. Where does this stand? I mean, this to me seems like a no-brainer. Take it, take it, take it.
Suitcase Sarah is a classic example of why we have a job. Okay, Ted, listen, she's the type of client where you need to double team her, meaning you bring in at least 2 lawyers from your firm or your office to sit her down and tell her to knock off the cock and bull and take the deal. Because when she gets out, she'll be 56. She'll have a whole life ahead of her. You know, she's already been in for 56 months. I believe she got arrested on this in February of 2020. So she'll still be a relatively young woman. Worse yet, when you do the legal analysis, I think the best she can hope for from the jury is a manslaughter. They define it as follows. All they have to do is prove that she committed an act, not in self-defense, that caused death. That's it. All they have to do is hit the play button and show the jury that video of him struggling for breath in that suitcase, and they've basically proven of manslaughter beyond a reasonable doubt. So what does that get her? The 15 years that they're offering now. Homegirl needs to take the deal and shut up and go do her time.
Yeah, because the chances of a second, while obviously the state is a little bit worried about their case because it is complex, that video, she's not only listening to him. She's taunting him. And there's only 6 jurors that are going to be deliberating in the state of Florida. It's not a 12-person jury. You could just feel this thing going south very quickly, especially if, like they've articulated, their defense is going to be battered spouse syndrome.
Yeah, the only way out of this is to prove some form of self-defense. Because again, they have to prove she committed an act that caused death that was not excusable, meaning it was not in self-defense. And if they think that a battered woman syndrome expert is going to save the day, it's very risky. I would rather take my 15 with all the credit I've got in and be out at age 56 rather than risk life in prison. But she's willing to roll the dice. It's really unfortunate, and this is, again, a classic example of why a few attorneys need to sit her down and explain the risk. And then you can note your files, say she's been advised, and if she goes down on it, she has nobody to blame but herself.
And now it makes sense that she's gone through all these attorneys. We had sort of speculated that the state maybe was offering and she was rejecting, and this, and I think that the state was very eager to get this out on the record into the public forum. Well, the Hurricane Milton storming towards, or basically Orlando. It'll drop in intensity by the time it gets inland into Orlando. The court was expecting Wednesday and Thursday to have the courthouse closed. This move, though, to stop the jury selection process on Monday and restart it next Monday, I guess that is to eliminate the possibility that you pick a juror, their house is leveled, and they can't serve.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we're fortunate out here where I live. We don't have to worry about having to batten down the hatches whenever it rains or you get a windstorm, you know. But unfortunately, most of the country is not like that. And to be fair, nobody really knows where the jurors live or the jury pool. It could be possible that even though the courthouse is inland, that they live closer to the ocean and they need to get home and board up their windows, make arrangements for their pets, pack things up, put sandbags out and get ready rather than sit serving their civic duty as a juror, you know. So, and by the way, the players in the justice system likewise need to get home and take care of business. The judge, the court reporter, the clerk, a counsel, you know, they all have obligations at home that they've got to contend with to avoid tragic type destruction from what appears now to be a Category 3 or a Category 5 hurricane. You got to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a prudent decision for sure.